This is the West Star Temple, huh? I shouldn't be surprised that it looks like a maze. This is really gonna suck. If only the Guardian Dragon of the Star Temple would just show itself already. That would be nice, wouldn't it? It's the final temple. Let's do it. Charlotta? You keep looking over your shoulder. What's wrong? Nothing. I think it's just my imagination. Are you alright? I told you not to worry. Let's move. I hope she isn't hiding something. I don't think she wants to tell us right now. I hope it's nothing. I don't think she would hide it from us if it was important. Karikaru, if you're just going to stand there, I'm afraid we'll have to leave you behind. Hey, wait for me! And on that note, welcome back to part 21 of Dragonstar Varnir's Madness Route. We're approaching the end now. We might be getting this finished this week at this rate. But we have yet another video where I surprised myself by recording a very long length video, but when I edited it down and cut out all the fat, it ended up being pretty short, and I hate the fact that I keep doing this. This was a 52-minute recording, and it was once again entirely because of some of the encounters. Hard mode really knows how to make basic encounters take a fucking lifetime when it wants to. And I can't stress that enough. I keep a couple of them in, but there's a little later on where even though it's all against enemies we've done before, they're lengthier-ish encounters that I can show you what I mean. So you understand where I'm coming from, where I'll do these 50... Like this was 50, like, 2 minutes of raw recording footage I had, somewhere around there. And I brought it to 20 and a half. Because it's like if it was just against an enemy we've already fought before, I just edited it out, and it genuinely cut out more than half of the video length.
I've been looking for one of these.
Which is, like, it is annoying for me because I like to try and make my videos around, like, more than 20 minutes and around, like, half an hour, no longer than 45, if I can help it. Like, outside of certain circumstances, like, if it's, like, a very significant part of the story, or if it's, like, very cutscene heavy, I want to keep all the cutscenes together sort of thing, then maybe it'll go a bit longer, but 20 minutes to around 45 at most, like, a stretch is where I try and hover around. So this being 52 minutes, I was like, okay, edit out the encounters. That'll probably be around like 35, 36. No, 20 and a half. Take it or leave it.
Let's go.
But I digress. I don't mind really. I enjoy playing this game, and it means the video gets to you guys a little bit quicker because I am still uploading at 1080-60 because that's on PS5. You have no choice. Everything is hard pushed at 1080-60. Even if it isn't a 1080-60 game, like Dragonstar, this game is 30 frames. And it's 30 frames locked. Which I really wish they did some kind of, like, update for, like, to just let it allow stronger platforms to run it at higher frame rates. Because, like, seeing Dragonstar and Death End 2 and things like that have, like, non-existent loading and run at 60 FPS easily on PC. Yeah, I know the PC versions have their own fair share of problems, but as a whole, seeing them run so perfectly almost on PC, and it's like, well, if you just did like a take off the restraints update, it'd be fine. Which even then was barely an excuse, because this is the same engine they've been using for a while now. And like, you look at Fairy Fencer, you look at Neptunia V2, and all of they're perfectly fine at 60 FPS. And I get that these are more detailed games, like Dragonstar and especially Death End 2 are far more detailed games in their design, even if they're on the same engine. So I can kind of understand the halved frame rate on PS4. But at the same time, I'm still going to be like, it's on the same engine. I would always rather performance over quality. They should have pushed for 60. But, I don't know. The Neptunia Reverse, the remaster of the original game, that I know is going to be at 60 FPS because it's a PS5 exclusive. And they've made it very clear from the word go that it's going to be making the most of the PS5's features and hardware, which is why it's a 5 exclusive and not really on PS4. Even though it just looks like Rebirth with more bells and whistles to it. So I'm just like, okay. But I jest. I'm sure it'll be fine, and I'm sure it'll make up for it. I'm interested in that fishing minigame kind of unironically. Like, they were advertising it a bit too significantly, like it's a major deal, which it really won't be. But I'm sure it'll be fine, so I'll look forward to that at least. When it eventually comes around, though, I probably won't use a single one of the extra characters. I'll use the base cast. and I'll probably use them as intended, because from what I've seen on footage online, they kind of just give you everyone even if it doesn't make sense to the story in reverse. And I'm not about that.
I'm taking it.
What I'll probably do is, firstly, I'll play on the new mode. I won't play on classic mode. Classic mode is that you only have a party of 3, whilst they made a new version of the game. It's like an arranged mode, which adopts the party of 4 system from later titles, aka the second tile onwards, to make the original more unified, which I'm completely for that, even if I'm curious to see what it'll do to the balance of the game, because the original Neptunia is pretty damn hard. It's not brutal hard, but there's a couple spikes, specifically in Chapter 2, that really catch you off guard and demand that you start grinding. And with a 4th party member, I fear might break. But the way I'll work it is, if they haven't been introduced in the main story, I won't have them.
Time to switch.
No, I won't use them, I'll bench them.
Here I go.
So for a decent chunk of the game, it will be just Nep, Iffy, and Compa. Because that's the team you have for a decent stretch before it starts introducing more characters. Because when Noir's introduced to the story, she doesn't join the team straight away. You have to go back and get her later. Because the original Neptunia is based in an alternate timeline to the rest of the series, as I've said before. Like, after the original game, they soft rebooted the franchise with the second game, and that's what became the version of the cast and characters that every game and spin-off has been based on. The original game is based in Super Dimension, whilst everything afterwards has been based in Hyper Dimension, hence the franchise's naming convention of Hyper Dimension Neptunia.
Taking it.
But when I get to the original and cover it, yeah, I will make it story characters only, so it will be Nep, Iffy, and Compa for a decent stretch. Which is something like back in the Nep V2R, the 4th game, where I did Let's Play of that, I commented on that going through that part of the game where you only have Nep, Iffy, and Compa felt extremely kind of nostalgic in its own little way, because of the first game where you also go for a foresty area first with just those 3. Like, it felt like it was a deliberate homage to that, and I lived for it. But back to the actual game we're playing, the silver guns are this dungeon's chrome lodges, which is why I said the idea's back in this dungeon. And these are the ones that actually killed me on my original playthrough. On the true ending playthrough, when we got here, this was the part where a silver gun, like, copied a character with a dragon form, and then one-shot the entire party with them. As it uses Great Horn and kills 2 members of the party. But I said, I think Minesso has just about died herself beforehand, so just one, I'll let it off, but still, it's not friendly. But the silver guns, to an extent, I'd argue are actually worse than the chrome lodges, because if you hit them with a physical attack and it doesn't kill them, and this counts with Devour counts as physical, they have a chance to clone themselves. If you clone a silver gun, you're just giving them more instant kill tickets to try and use on you.
Not bad.
So you need to be wary of them as you do that. Oh, there's also an enemy that runs away from you, and if the fight goes on for too long, will run away from the fight, so you need to be wary. These guys, the Lavus.
Prepare yourself.
And their evasion isn't actually that high, I just got unlucky.
Goodbye.
My turn.
And thankfully, that silver gun at the bottom isn't just only copying, which is kind of the trade-off that makes the chrome lodges more of a threat as well in their own way. Like, the silver guns can duplicate, the chrome lodges will prioritize copying.
I'll do my best.
So it's not as bad.
I'll do my best.
Well, I don't know, let's say it's worse in one way, easier in another with the silver guns compared to the chrome lodges. For me personally, I think the chrome lodges are the bigger pain in the neck.
I'll take that.
Just because they will immediately copy and immediately be on your ass, like, hello, here you go. And it might just summon back up if they so desire.
There. I got it.
Because they can just transform themselves into another enemy that could just bring in more enemies. It's a mess. They suck. there's no sugarcoating it. They're not fun. Any enemy that can just get a free ticket to end the game is just no. Any enemy that can summon more backup is no. The fact that they put all of them in this late game, just But shifting gears, the West Star Temple, the dungeon we're in, my plan when I was exploring it was every time there's a split in the road, flip an imaginary coin in my head and pick one and just hope it's the wrong path so I can get the loot and explore everything in one go. That doesn't quite work out because with the exception of the later part, where later on it becomes more obvious which is the optional path and which is the main path.
The floor beneath. Show yourself.
That's fine, but in these earlier bits, this is going to be the second, I think. I haven't really been paying attention to the recording in the background because, you know, post-commentary. That I pick the correct path trying to go the wrong. And so there's going to be a point later on where we'll get to a cutscene and I'll stop just before it. And I will cut to showcasing where the other paths lead. Because they're very short little deterrences. It's just I didn't pick them. I picked the main path instead. And just went, oh, you know what, screw it. I'm going to stick to it. And also, because this dungeon is one of the biggest in the game, the loading screens are far longer. And even on PS4 Pro or PS5, they didn't add any extra optimization to make it so it will load a little quicker if you do that. Which is frustrating because this game came out in 2018 in Japan and 2019 for the rest of us. What was the excuse? The Pro was already out. Why didn't you want to do like a Pro upgraded version?
I'm taking it.
And to be fair, I haven't tried Death End 2 to see if that also is completely unoptimized for PS4 Pro, because I jumped from a base PS4 Slim all the way up to a PS5, so I don't really know what games get the Pro advantages. Like, I'm kind of just experiencing it as I go for myself. Like, it's been fun to see like some of the games I've played get Pro advantages. Like, I was playing Neo, the original Neo, and being able to play that game at both 60 frames and high quality instead of just one or the other. That's fun. That's nice. And Neo is a game that maybe one day I'll cover, but I'm in no rush. I just play. I don't love Neo. I just enjoy it enough to I've given it a fair shot, and I've still yet to really sit down and play 2.
This is wonderful.
So I'm still on hold off in that, but at some point Neo would be fun to go through. Maybe. There's a strong maybe. There's a lot of other stuff I want to do first.
Here I go.
And I think, but I haven't checked, but I think Evil Within 2 has. So when the inevitability, you know, 10 years from now, from how often I fucking bring it up, comes around to me actually doing that game, hopefully that will look a lot smoother and a lot nicer than it would have done if I'd done it on PS4. Which, to be fair, the Evil Within 2 has easily become the Dragon Star, the new version of the Dragon Star talk that I used to do. Essentially, for those who are newish to the channel, so I got Dragon Star day 1 on launch. In fact, I got it day -1. I got it 2 days before it actually came out.
Nice.
And I got like the collector's edition. I had a special thing sent to me, and I did a full review of it. Like, I got a review copy, which is wild. It's the only time in my life I've ever got a review copy, and I'm more than happy I got it because it was kind of exciting. And I did everything properly and yada yada.
This is useful.
But after I did that initial playthrough, like for myself, to record footage for the review and whatnot, every single Let's Play that came afterwards, I constantly said, I need to do Dragon Star as a Let's Play at some point. I would not shut up about saying, yeah, when I eventually do Dragon Star, after Death End, I'll do Dragon Star. Actually, I'll do Dragon Star first. No, I did Death End first anyway. Like, I brought up Dragon Star almost every single other fucking video of, like, I'm gonna do it eventually. And so when it eventually came to me doing the main playthrough, I think one of the first things I said is, yeah, I know, we're actually doing it finally. But nowadays, for the longest time, I've said at some point I'll do the sequel to Evil Within, because I genuinely really enjoy Evil Within 2, and of the classic 7, like the original 7 Let's Plays I did, that, as I've spoken about before, I don't really like anymore, just because of how much I've grown as a person and how much I was struggling with depression. Well, I still am, but was really struggling with it during those years. Like,
Let's go.
I always said after how much I enjoyed doing Evil Within 1, because I did really enjoy Evil Within 1 despite all the hiccups that everything was around that time, that I would do the sequel, and I really enjoyed the sequel, so I want to do it. It just keeps on getting put off because of other things. And the thing is that it might not even happen this year, depending on how long the big 3, so to speak, are going to be. Because as I keep on saying, the big 3 Let's Plays I planned on doing, assuming Atlas doesn't cuck us, is Nocturne, Neptune Reverse, and then the Final Fantasy VII Remake, back to back.
Get ready.
And that, more so with Nocturne than anything else, will probably push us right to, like, the winter.
Ready?
I really wouldn't be surprised if by the time we're on the other side of them, we're a lot later in the year. Like, it's not going to be done and it's still the summer sort of thing after we've done all 3. It'll be like edge of winter. So it might even be early next year we do Evil Within 2. And that's also ignoring that, you know, other unique games are coming out that I'm kind of interested in. Like, I'm not getting it anytime soon because price conversion sucks. But I want to get Returnal because I'm very interested in that game. But they didn't convert the price whatsoever in the UK. So where it's $70 in the US, it's £70 in the UK. So we're essentially paying $15 to $20 more for it. Like we're paying equivalent of like $90 for it, which I'll wait for a price drop because no matter how much I'm looking forward to it, I cannot in any circumstance justify that price for one game. It's just not happening.
Let's go.
But yeah, like at some point I want to get Returnal, and if I end up enjoying that, of course I'm going to do a Let's Play of it. But that's a huge if, because I love roguelikes, I just don't play them that much. Because if I get into a roguelike, I commit to it for the full stretch. It's why I've yet to really get into Hades, because I know if I go into Hades, I'll be in it until I 100% it, like I was with Binding of Isaac. Which, speaking of, that third expansion of Binding of Isaac is coming out on console soon, and I'm dreading it. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm dreading it. As soon as I learned about the tainted characters, and how you have to, the process you need to unlock it, and both of the new 2 routes and areas, and the way you have to kind of reverse engineer, like, one part, and I'm just like, I'll pass. I don't think I want to do that. It looks more frustrating than anything. Oh, cutscene. We've come pretty far, but it seems like we've quite a way to go before we reach the end. The dragons lurking around here are really strong. If we let our guard down, we could die at any moment. Lapinette, are you okay? Are you tired? I'm a little tired, but I'm okay. Okay, good to hear. Don't overdo it, though. Yes, of course. I'm glad morale is still doing well. I can appreciate everyone's hope and optimism. Let's keep this up and find the guardian dragon. Yeah, let's do it. Also, during my long talk earlier, I know we've passed it a while ago now. It's like 4 or 5 minutes ago. We got our first Berserk form, and it was Charlotta, and we actually got a full fight to showcase it and show how much damage it did. Because at the end, we did something like 13,000 damage to an enemy. Because that's what Berserker form does to your stats. It's just it will affect your madness scale, assuming you care about it and you're going for the true ending. But to go back on Let's Plays and potential projects, so that's 4, assuming Atlas don't destroy us on 1, that are in the works, that are being planned on, with Evil Within 2 being at the end. Because I think after I've done the Final Fantasy 7 remake, I kind of not just owe it to myself, but owe it to you guys for how often I've brought it up, as I get dicked by a glitch encounter there. You see that back attack from a Giga Goyle that was nowhere near us? But like, okay, thanks. Like, I think I've owed it to you guys, how long I've brought it up and said I really enjoy that game, to actually, you know, let's play it. So that will be probably after the 7 remake. But I'm interested in Tales of Arise, but I'm willing to bet, just like Tales of Berseria, which still hurts my soul, the entire game will be blocked so I won't be able to showcase it, which really, really sucks. That's still, like, Tales of Berseria, as I've said in the video of, like, my top 10, is genuinely one of my top 10 all-time favorite games. I love that game so goddamn much, and the fact that unless I get the money together to get proper recording equipment and a capture card and whatever, I may never get to record it. The only way I might be able to twist a knife and get it to work is if a PS5 gets PlayStation 3 backwards compatibility in a future update, because then I'll buy the PS3 version because it won't have any recording blocks and just do that. Assuming Sony don't do something like where you can't record any footage from consoles from the PS3 backwards, which will really suck. That'd be a really, really big dick move on Sony's part if they do that. But if I have to record the PS3 version instead of the PS4 version, to be honest, I'll do it. Because it'll mean I'll get to showcase the game. Even if it runs a little slower, which I'm sure I'll be able to raw power some of it playing off the PS5 anyway, so it won't be too bad. But pretty cool. I want to showcase Tales of Berseria one way or another, and Bandai are never going to get rid of that recording block on Tales of Berseria, it feels like. So I have to just pray. But Tales of Arise, if by some miracle Bandai fucking learnt their lesson and they don't block the whole game,
I'll take that.
I'll probably want to do a Let's Play of that, because I've always wanted to do a Tales of game full stop. And the only one I like severely enjoyed was Symphonia and Berseria. And Symphonia, even then, that was kind of a, yeah, I liked it, but then I never played it again. I didn't like Zestiria at all.
I got it.
I've heard good things about Tales of Zilla, but I just couldn't get in, like, I don't know if it's an X or a Z, I can't even remember now. That shows how long ago I tried it, but I just couldn't really get into it. And the others I've just never played. I've heard good things about Vesperia, but because that was the one that got remastered, I think, but I haven't played it to speak on it.
Yeah.
But maybe Tales of Arise, assuming it isn't blocked. But like I said, winning the bet it will be, so let's not hold any hopes out. And a couple other little things as well that are coming out throughout the year I've got my eye on. But as a whole, this year is going to be extremely JRPG focused, all the way to maybe like around winter when Evil Within 2 goes up. Assuming we get these 3 games done that quickly. But anyway, we're at the end of the West Star Temple now, so next time we will finish it. Until then, though, you guys take care now. Peace.